What's going on, y'all? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Want y'all to hit that like button. Make sure you sub to the channel and also hit them notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. Now, let's go ahead and talk about it. The first person that I've seen talking about this was the brother Turaf for TV. Definitely go sub to his channel and all of his multiple platforms. Look, man, this situation with Klay has to be talked about again. I've touched on it here and there, but as you know, if you've been listening to my channel for quite some time, Klay Thompson is my favorite player on the Warriors. However, Klay is going to have to be in a role that's going to be having him come off the bench. And this is primarily because of several things. Now, the one obvious reason is that Klay Thompson has had two significant injuries. Now, although he came back and they were able to win the chip in 22, you still saw the drop-off in Klay, because even when he had came back, you know, he was struggling then, but you're really starting to see the decline in Klay, and it has to do with the end of games. Okay. That's which is going to lead me to my next point. Klay cannot be utilized at the end of games no longer, whereas you would not even fix your mouth to even say that about maybe 5, 6, even 7 years ago. You wouldn't have said that, because Klay was dependable not only on offense, but especially on defense. Now, with Klay on defense and with Klay on the floor, the Warriors are giving up 119 points per 100 possessions. And that's not good. And then another thing is I've already talked about this, but the others that are in the lineup or the other forwards that are in there are clearly outplaying Klay. Okay. You have Wiggins and you have Kuminga, and of course I've already talked about the emergence of Jonathan Kuminga. Then you have now Draymond Green. He's been a lot of people. I don't think people really see this, but he's been utilized at the center position. Although he's interchangeable, Draymond can switch up and go to the 4, and then of course Draymond could be that ball handler. But he's been mainly playing that center position. And then you have Brandon Petermisky. I can't really pronounce his name, but he's actually been outplaying Klay on the offensive end. Another thing is that Klay Thompson is shooting at the lowest. He's put up the lowest numbers that he's had in his career. I think this season he's averaging roughly 19.6 points. He's shooting 41.8%. Just horrible for Klay. And just by any standards, 41.8. That's not good. And then he's shooting 36.8 from 3-point line, which some guys actually would love to shoot that percentage, but for Klay standards, that's not good at all. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I was in denial about Klay taking a reduced role. But then I had to go back and I really had to go look back in time and see some of the players that had gotten older and were able to come to grips with, the aging factor and not being able to do some of the things that you couldn't do anymore because of maybe injuries or just age and getting older, and just father time, regardless of what we want to try to put it off and try to hide it or try to throw it away. Father time is going to come at you like a boomerang, but it's undefeated. I'm glad that Klay is willing to do this. I mean, look at Russell Westbrook and look what the Clippers, who they lost to, look what they're doing. And Russell Westbrook actually volunteered. Now, Russell Westbrook only suffered, one major injury, which was, had to do with his knee and everything. But maybe there were some things that Russell had seen that he felt like I would be helping the team by doing this rather than me trying to be a liability to the team out there and being a starter. And then of course, there have been, plenty of players that were willing to come off the bench later on in their careers. I can remember one example was with Gary Payton when he played for the Miami Heat. And that was an older, Gary Payton. He knew, okay, I'm not the glove, when I was in Seattle, with the Seattle Supersonics. Okay, so those, that's just an example. But see, with Klay, I know that this is really frustrating to him because he worked so hard to get back. He worked so hard to get back on the floor, and then on top of that, Klay is a professional, man. I mean, has there been trash talk here and there with other players? Yeah, of course, but for the most part, Klay has always remained professional, and so I think that some of the criticism that they give to Klay is very unfair, and I'm talking about the ones that are really going in on him to the point where they're saying, okay, they're getting personal with it. And he even had to explain people, look, I had back-to-back major injuries. Now, it's easy for someone to sit up there and say that until they're in that situation. But, nevertheless, I'm glad that Klay Thompson is doing this, and he's being put on the bench, because this right here, it shows people that you don't always have to be a starter the whole entire your NBA career, however long it is. And he could still contribute. It's just that his role will be reduced. And when he first came back, they were kind of taking his minutes away, but eventually he was able to work himself back into shape and everything. But I really feel that Klay Thompson is going to thrive off of this. Like I said, the Warriors, I think, were 6-1. That with that being their first loss in 7 games. So yeah, we'll have to see how it works out. I have no doubt in my mind that it will, just from seeing what type of guy that Klay is. So hopefully, it works out for him. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I'll get at you later.